So welcome back to the tavern. Today we have a nice quick little video. If you are a fan of Critical Role, I recommend you stop watching if you are not caught up. This will contain spoilers, potentially more spoilers than the title might already imply. But Matthew Mercer has released the two subclasses that the characters in Critical Role have currently taken. So immediately we have the path that Beauregard, Lionett has been following, the way of the Cobalt Soul Monk. So I guess he's finished playtesting it with her. We've seen it change a little bit as the build has happened over Campaign 2 of Critical Role. So off the bat, we have 6th level. It looks like most of the monk features, let's compare it to Drunken Master, gets a third, a couple thirds, 4 elements, gets a third. All right, so Cobalt Soul, know your enemy type of thing. So this it looks like they have a typo here. The Mystical Erudition is 6th level and Extract Aspects is 3rd level. So it's just a typo, and Beyond they have them ordered the incorrect way. But so Extract Aspects, pressure points. Whenever you hit a creature with one of your attacks granted by flurry of blows, you mark them as analyzed. Whenever an analyzed creature misses you with an attack, you can immediately use your reaction. In addition, you're to make an unarmed melee attack against the creature. That's pretty cool. It's a little bit of a mark, and it doesn't cost your chi points, so that's pretty interesting. Yes, you can pronounce them as chi as well. Additionally, you learn attributes about the target, vulnerabilities, resistances, immunities, and condition immunities. All right, so that's pretty cool. Mystical Erudition. You learn one language of your choice and proficiency in one of the following skills: Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. So that's one of the intelligence skills. And if you already have proficiency in the listed skill, you can instead choose to double your proficiency. So you can a little bit of jargon. If you have proficiency in it, you gain expertise in it effectively. And this is an additional thing at 11th and 17th. So over the course of your adventuring career, you get 3 of these, and that's, I guess, 3 additional languages as well. That said, the monk gets Tongue of Sun and Moon, I want to say. Class features, if I'm remembering that correctly. 11th level, 12th level, purity. Yeah, Tongue of Sun and Moon at 13. You understand all spoken languages. So these languages learned at 17th levels, and the ones that you pick leading up to it do still matter because you understand spoken languages but not written. So pretty interesting. Mystical, that's the Erudition, and Extort Truth. If you hit a creature with an armor strike, you spend 1 chi to force them to make a charisma save. Failed save, creature unable to speak a deliberate lie, and all charisma checks directed at the creature are made with advantage for up to 10 minutes. All right, that's pretty cool. So advantage on deception, persuasion, definitely an interrogator type of thing. Very interesting. Mind of Mercury, 11th level, honed awareness and reflexes through mental aptitude and pattern recognition. Once per turn, if you've already taken your reaction, you need to spend 1 chi point to take an additional reaction. That's really interesting. I love this idea of multiple reactions per turn. That's such a powerful ability. That definitely sets the stage for tier 3, and I think it gives a really cool power boost to the monk, especially if Beauregard Lionett has taken Sentinel Feat. So that Mind of Mercury combined with the ability to have 2 reactions per turn with the Sentinel Feat is amazing. This could be very cool if you use maybe other weapons, because it doesn't say opportunity attack, it's just a reaction. So if you're carrying a weapon or something, or you're trying to deflect missiles, I believe that also spends a reaction. There's some really cool things. Additional Erudition, Debilitating Barrage, 17th level. So this is the only other feature. The other 2 are just the reiterations of the 6th level feature. Gain the knowledge to temporarily lower a creature's fortitude by striking a series of pressure points. Whenever you hit a creature with one of the attacks granted by flurry of blows, so we get a theme here between Extract Aspects and Debilitating Barrage. You spend 3 chi points to cause the creature to suffer a vulnerability to a damage type of your choice for 1 minute, or until they take damage of that type. A creature who is affected by this feature cannot be affected by it again for 24 hours. This is going to be really interesting, and I think this, getting into a little bit more of the theory crafting and myself being a fan of the show, The Debilitating Barrage will combine really interestingly, because it says damage type, not energy type. So Debilitating Barrage, you can give them... Bow could potentially give enemies... in this campaign. I mean, this is really interesting to run in any campaign if you're looking to play a monk. But Bow could give vulnerability to something like piercing damage, and then that sets up not for a nasty sneak attack to have double damage on that. And you combine that with Caduceus. No, Caduceus also gives vulnerability, so they would not stack. But it's one more way to grant double damage to someone. Or you set it up for something like vulnerability to force damage, and then Caleb comes in with a disintegrate, which is force damage. So, this could be really interesting. Or fire damage. I mean, Caleb Widowguest is all about the fire. So, very interesting. She can help him burn down other people's houses with other people's parents inside. Like I said, spoilers. All right, so let's jump from Cobalt Soul. Overall, I think this is going to be a really cool subclass. I would definitely be interested in playing this, especially in a campaign that's going to run from beginning of Tier 2, like level 5, all the way through level 15 or so. The Barrage is really cool for Tier 4, obviously, and it gives you some really cool power of having that opportunity to set up your teammates. That vulnerability is not going to be good for you to take advantage of. That is strictly a teammate buffing thing. Monks are all about lots of attacks, so you're not dealing a ton of damage with one of your attacks as a monk. Or if you are, it's gonna have multiple damage types because of an enchantment or a buff. This Debilitating Barrage is all about setting up your allies, and the other things are about helping them out. Extract aspects. Now your teammates know which spells and attacks to use, which ones to not use, which saves. They're immune to being charmed. I won't throw out a hypnotic pattern now. So really cool. Cobalt Soul. I think it'd be fantastic to drop into almost any campaign. All right, next one is the Paladin class. We just got the hint for this, and I actually added it to the Wikipedia in real time. I haven't, now my post in the Wikipedia was, as of yet, we do not know the features. I didn't realize they were going to be dropping them right onto DnDBeyond, so it's pretty exciting. So mechanics, DM allow, they aren't official, yada yada. Are not permitted in Adventurers League. Talk to your DM in Adventurers League. Most of them allow it. Just don't do it at a convention. All right, so our oaths. One should be no greater life than a life lived free. Oh, man, I already like the sound of this oath. One should be free to chart their own path without oppression. Those who would exert their power to dominate others shall be smote. Smote or smited? I guess it's smote. Smitten? All right, smitten would be a bard paladin. Trust the skies, guidance of a strong breeze, the rumbling warnings of a coming storm. Nature is a source of portent and counsel that should be heeded. Nature is a source of portent and counsel that should be heeded. I believe there needs to be a semicolon in there. But adapt like water. The waters of the ocean can shift around any obstacle or become an impassable one. They can carve around and reveal the secrets of the past, or swallow the truth and hide it forever. To embrace this fluidity is to be ready for any challenge. I like it. Very cool. And explore the uncharted. The world is filled with much mystery. Through the pursuit of these enigmatic ends, one can both uncover those who hide their dark deeds in shadow to be judged, and find the path to becoming something great. So I like this feel. It gives you this sense of adventure tied into the oath a little bit. You have motivation to push forward. You have this roleplay element of adapt like water, where your opinions should change on things over time based on your observations of the world. And to trust the skies, understand that things do change, and heed this counsel or warnings or things like that. I love this idea. And I like this idea of those who would exert their power to dominate others shall be smote. It definitely feels very good for Fjord. I love this feel so far. I learned how to sail when I was younger. I don't do it anymore, but I think it would be something I would love to do. And this feels this idea of nature almost. And honestly, you could so far from what it seems like, you could rename Oath of the Open Sea to Oath of the Open Land, and still have this wild uncharted mystery without playing like the Ancients Paladin. This is cool. I love this so far. All right, Oath spells: Create or Destroy Water, Expeditious Retreat at 3rd level, Augury and Misty Step at 5th. 9th level we get Call Lightning and Tidal Wave. 13th is Control Water and Freedom of Movement, and 17th is Commune with Nature and Maelstrom. All right, really cool spell list. Create and Destroy Water is interesting. I like some of the things you can do with it. One thing, I mean, you're not gonna be stuck at sea without water to drink, so there's that benefit. Expeditious Retreat's a pretty powerful spell. I believe it's concentration, but it does last for 10 minutes. But it's a dash as a bonus action, so pretty. It says retreat, but pretty good for closing into combat too. And when you cast the spell, you automatically gain the dash action, and then on subsequent turns you can dash as a bonus action. So the turn that you spend a bonus action to cast Expeditious Retreat, if your base movement is 30, your movement is 60 for that turn. So you don't even have to set it up a turn ahead of time. It works on the turn you cast it, which is really cool. All right, Augury. I love Augury. It's a very interesting spell. It's a cleric-only ritual. Now, being a paladin, you do not actually have ritual casting. So the Augury spell, you do have to spend a spell slot on, but I like the idea of that. I like it from a DM perspective. If you caught my Shaman video, Augury is such a fun spell because it gives you an idea of what the players are looking towards happening in the next little bit of game time. But they might roleplay after. They'll most likely roleplay out the results of Augury, giving you time to prep based on the result. Like if they threw a curveball at you, you have that little bit of time when they're roleplaying and discussing amongst themselves the results of the Augury spell to actually plan for how it's actually going to take effect, which is pretty cool. And sometimes as DMs, you don't get that glimpse into what your players are thinking. Misty Step is an amazingly powerful spell. Bonus action, teleport 30 feet, close in on an enemy. It feels like it sort of overlaps with Expeditious Retreat a little bit because they both you can dash as a bonus action, double from 30 to 60, or you can use Misty Step. But if you're already concentrating on something else, maybe Call Lightning or a myriad of other spells, you don't want to spend the concentration on an Expeditious Retreat, and you just Misty Step instead. That said, teleportation is very powerful and appropriately leveled for Misty Step, but you still get your actual action out of it. Really cool. And Fjord as a Paladin 3, if we pull up to the Paladin list real quick. Paladin 3 just gained the Oath, only has 3 first level spells. So he doesn't even have Misty Step yet. That he'll gain that at Paladin 5, and I believe he's Warlock 11 right now. I don't know if he's going to be going into Warlock anymore. I think the last pickup of Warlock was to change out some spells, like summoning demons and stuff, if my conjecture is accurate. So it also picks up, if I remember correctly, Warlock 11 is a big level for Warlock. Class features 11 is the first Mystic Arcanum. So it's a free 6th level spell once per day that Fjord would have gotten. So where that and that's a spell that isn't a spell slot. So it's if he's smiting with his Warlock spell slots, which are 5th level. So now smite is a maximum of 5d8 plus 1d8 for undead. So the maximum of 5d8, even though it's a 5th level slot, 4th level slots do the same thing. He doesn't have 4th level slots right now. He's got 3 first level slots, and the 2, I believe the Warlock 11th level is a 4th it's a 3rd spell slot. That was definitely the pickup. It gives him 1 more 5th level smite per day, which is insanely powerful. That's better than the Arcanum, honestly. Okay. So, huge burst damage, bonus action, teleport, closing on your enemy, love it. Call Lightning, cool range option, very, very powerful spell. I believe it was, Call Lightning is Tempest Cleric and Druids only, and now it is one of the martial classes, pretty interesting. Because the Circle of the Land, Forest Druid, Regular Druid, and Tempest Domain Clerics. I mean, Tempest is sort of melee-ish, but pretty interesting. Don't need that open. I'll leave it. I'm going to watch that later. I wanted my initial reactions to these subclasses and their features to be on camera. All right, third level, Marine Layer. As an action, you can channel the sea. So these are the channel divinities. You get one channel divinity per short rest, if I remember the class features. Channel divinity. Yeah, short or long rest, you get one. And it stays at one. It doesn't. You do not get more of them. Okay, so channel divinity, Marine Layer. It's an action. Channel the sea to create a thick fog cloud that surrounds you and heavily obscures the area for 20 feet in all directions, following you as you move. You and all creatures within 5 feet of you instead treat this fog as lightly obscured. Okay, the fog lasts for 10 minutes, spreads around the corners. That's pretty cool. It's a better version of fog cloud that does not require concentration. And it sort of isolates you and the things next to you. So if you are getting harried as a paladin by ranged enemies, and especially with a Fjord, who's a Hexblade paladin, or no, not a Hexblade, a Pact of the Blade, Great Old One paladin. No, it's a Pact of the Depths or something. It might be a Hexblade. Whatever. You're gonna die, and closes in on the single enemy. I think he's Hexblade. Now that I think about it. But the Hexblade was Ukatoa, who feels a little bit more Great Old One-y, but it's whatever. So this aura, so it's a fog cloud centered on you. It's an isolating type of thing. This is sort of compelled duel, sort of, it's very cool for following after a single enemy. Creatures within 5 feet of you treat it fog lasts for 10 minutes. So it does not treat all of your allies. So it could potentially harm the range casters in the Mighty Nine. But if you're playing this in your own campaign, this could be very interesting, especially if you're a bunch of melee combatants in your party. Throw like a Tempest Cleric in here, throw a Storm Soul Sorcerer, throw this Paladin, Oath of the Open Sea, and throw a Way of the Elements Monk, and you got a really interesting party makeup here. Or maybe a Barbarian in here, like Divine Barbarian. Path of the Zealot, that's it. Could be some really cool primal magic party here. All right, Fury of the Tides, bonus action, channel divinity, really cool, so you still get your attack action. Channel the powerful might of the waves to bolster your attacks for 1 minute. Once per turn during the duration when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can choose to push the target 10 feet away from you. If the target is pushed into an obstacle or another creature, they take additional bludgeoning damage equal to charisma modifier. So that's pretty cool. I like it. I like the bonus action activation. Feels appropriate. Chance for pushing. There's no save either. It's just they get pushed, which is really cool, and it doesn't give a size category either. So larger creatures you can push away with this, and I feel like you could totally flavor this as your weapons. Your weapon hit is producing this spurt of water that's pushing them, or raging wind around your weapon. Very cool. I like it. I love bonus action activations with Channel Divinity. The fog cloud also has some really cool utility as scouting and stealth, because you just have to make sure you and your group stay right next to the paladin and stay around them, because you can see through it and enemies can't see you. Lasts for 10 minutes also, which is really cool, and can't be dispersed. So even fog, like gust of wind, wind wall, things like that can't dissipate this fog. Overall, cool channel videos. Aura. This is my favorite part of the Paladins. Level 7. Starting 7th level, you emanate aura while not incapacitated. Remember, the 6th level aura is the charisma bonus to all saves within 10 feet of you. You and any creature of your choice within 10 feet of you cannot be grappled or restrained, as well as ignore penalties on movement or attacks while underwater. Okay. Creatures that are already grappled. Okay, so the way I'm reading this, if I'm reading this correctly, is blanket cannot be grappled or restrained, and you ignore penalties on movement or attacks while underwater. So blanket. Creatures that are already grappled or restrained when they enter the aura can spend 5 feet of movement to automatically escape non-magical restraints. So if someone becomes restrained by, say, Maximilian's Earthen Grasp, because it is magical, they don't get a free out from it. But if they're grappled by an enemy with like 5 arms, they can escape with 5 feet for free. That's pretty cool. I like it. makes positioning huge, and I love that this Aura of Liberation ties to the Misty Step and Expeditious Retreat spells. It also sort of grants a freedom of movement. You might not want to cast freedom of movement on yourself once you have this aura, since you would by the time you get the spell. But maybe you do so that way, no matter what, you're not being hindered by like a hold person spell, and then you can make sure that this aura exists wherever it needs to exist in a specific fight. 15th level, Stormy Waters. Might want to rename it. No, Stormy... I guess Stormy Waters is a fine name. It feels... I don't know. I don't want to say derivative. It feels basic. I'm sorry. It feels a little bit basic. 15th level, you can call Crashing Waters around you as a reaction whenever a creature enters or exits your melee range. As a reaction, when the creature takes 1d12 bludgeoning damage and must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone. So this basically gives you another reaction. Whenever something enters your melee range, only 1d12 damage. I think there are other things you could have called this. Whelm already has a connotation in it from specific attacks, light and layer actions of different creatures in the monster manual. So maybe Whelm's not right. Stormy Waters, maybe Tidal Flow. Maybe I like Tidal Flow a little bit better, but eh. All right, Mythic Swashbuckler. At 20th level, you learn to channel the spirits of historic sea captains to briefly become a paragon of heroic adventure. As an action, you embrace these spirits of the sea, gain the following benefits for 1 minute. This is your 20th level capstone. This is the reward for saying pure Paladin build, all 20 levels. Fjord will not see Stormy Waters or Mythic Swashbuckler in levels 1 to 20, because there are 11 levels of Warlock already. So we'll probably see Aura of Liberation in tier 3 when they start gearing up for whoever the final boss of the campaign is going to be. Climbing costs no additional movement. You have advantage on strength athletics checks. Pretty cool. Makes sense, climbing ropes like a captain or like a sailor in general. If you're within 5 feet of a creature and no other creatures are within 5 feet of you, you have an advantage on your attacks against the creature. Awesome. Definitely feels like a swashbuckler. Makes me love the name for the ability because that's the swashbuckler rogue. You can take the dodge action as a bonus action. Feels appropriate. Getting a little bit of the rogue benefits. Only during that 1 minute time. It's another cost on the bonus action. Advantage on dexterity ability checks and dex saving throws against effects that you can see. Love the feel. Definitely feels like you're pulling in a little bit of that rogue element. The swashbuckler that is sort of into the rogue class a little bit. And you're pulling some of these elements for those moments because you are a paladin, but you're drawing on these historic elements of a swashbuckler and that archetype. So overall, I love it. I think this is a really fun class. I would play this paladin class. I enjoy Gith characters. I'm not the biggest fan of the paladin because of the limited spell casting. I prefer the blade singer for the full spell casting, but this paladin oath seems really cool. I would play this to 7th level, maybe 8th for the ability score improvement, and then leave it. And probably multi-class into, if my stats were right, blade singer, or if I had the circlet, Headband of Intellect, I would go into blade singer. If not, I would probably dip into bard after this. I would go 8 levels paladin, 10 levels bard, 2 levels fighter. Total spitball, 10 levels bard. We get multi-attack from paladin, 10 levels into lore bard. I get 2 magical secrets out of there. I get a ton of spell casting. I get 4 levels from paladin, 10 levels from bard. I end up as a 14th level caster, which is 7th level spells. 7th level spell slots, I should say, with 5th level spells at the max, which is fine. 5th level spells are fairly powerful. You get animate objects out of the bard list, as well as magical secrets, if I remember the bard correctly. I'm not a fan of the warlock personally. The bard gets class features. Here we go. Magical secrets, 10th level. Yeah, additional the magical secrets. So lore bard 10. Open Sea Paladin 8 and Fighter 2 to pick up Action Surge. That'd be a fun build, man. Now I'm thinking about this. You're a Strength Charisma based character, or you could be a Dex Charisma and stay in lighter armor. If your DM's allowing you Mariner fighting style, definitely pick that up. Totally fits the right feel for this Paladin. Lore Bard, you're sailing between ports, you're picking up random esoteric bits of knowledge, you tell stories in one port and learn other ones, and then you go tell them in another port as if they're your own. Definitely could be this like charlatan type character. This seems like a really fun build. Might have to play this in the next campaign. Very cool. Spells overall, control water is very, very powerful, especially on the open seas if you're playing ship combat in your game. Commune with nature, super cool feel, very flavorful. Maelstrom, amazingly powerful spell for the area. That just the restriction. You must be on a body of water. Tidal Wave, very cool if you're going against fire elementals. It's a basically insta kill. If a fire elemental, save or not, successful save, yeah. If I look up the fire elemental real quick. I believe they take 1 damage per gallon of water that passes through them. For every 5 feet, or for every gallon of water splashed them, takes 1 cold damage. Yeah, it's an instant kill to a fire elemental. Tidal Wave is obscenely powerful in that way, because I think it's like 1,200 gallons of water occupy a 10-foot space, 10 foot by 10 foot cube, which is a large creature. So it's insanely powerful. I saw this go up, and that's why I wanted to get the video before I actually got into watching it, to get my gut reactions, and that way I'm not regurgitating someone else's reactions to that. Overall, I like the Open Sea a lot. I like the monk, the Cobalt Soul monk. If we jump back there, monk, there we go. I like the Cobalt Soul monk a lot. I don't think I would play the Cobalt Soul monk. Right now I'm testing my shaman, and I don't think I would want to play another character that, while still all of the fun monk stuff, is all about party help. I would just be coming off of playing a character class that's all about party aid and being a team player and stuff. But the Paladin seems amazingly fun to play. This thing would be a blast. You'd have Paladin spells out the wazoo, really cool things that aren't on the Paladin list either. Definitely flavorful, good choices for the spells, the free spells: Expeditious Retreat, Misty Step, Call Lightning, Freedom of Movement. So your first 4 Paladin levels where you have oath spells, you have 1 amazing option and 1 utility good option. That's good sometimes. This is cool. I hope you guys enjoy this. It's more of a reaction video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my content to anyone who you think might enjoy this channel and what I do here. I should have another video going up soon about my thoughts on the Matt Mercer effect. I'm still working on editing that. So I hope to see you back here soon.